The early game in Illuvium is one of the hardest and one of the most important things you need to learn in the Illuvium arena. So this is a fresh new deck, I've never experienced it before, and I'm gonna take you along this journey to figuring out the early game. And I'm gonna give myself a 20-minute timer, so if we don't figure it out by the 20 minutes, then that's pretty sad. But we're gonna do it. So first off, we have a Volante right here. It's a rogue fire. Does a fair amount of damage, doesn't hold a lot of HP to its name, so usually I'm gonna go with a sword, but what we have here is 2 shields, 2 staffs. The support staff, that's really something for the late game, so it's either the shield or getting out an Illuvial. Riptor right here is usually pretty good, especially in one-on-one scenarios, so we're gonna bring the Riptor. For every 20 mastery points, you get 5 mastery points income, so we... Alrighty, so we could have used the other 10 points right here to get armor, but we should still be able to beat this Volante. Let's see the cast, it's gonna do so much damage, but we're still good. Alrighty, so now we get 5 income, and that's why the early game is so important. Every mastery point, every 20 mastery points that you save will actually give you 1 income, and it compounds, and it's really important that you don't spend too many mastery points in the early game. I think we can still beat this. We got 15 leftover mastery points, so we're gonna equip the 10 mastery points armor right here, and it should be enough to tank for the Riptor, so the Riptor can win the one-on-one versus the Rake. Let's see how it goes. Pretty good. Rake is done, so Riptor is a really strong early game character. That's why I like to use the sword a lot on my ranger, because he's... With the sword, you also become a fighter, like the Riptor here. And fighter are just really good in one-on-one scenarios. Alrighty, now we're playing versus a Riptor, versus a Dash, versus a Volante. So it would be nice versus those 2 rogues to get a tank in. Usually Singe would be my go-to move. It costs a bit much, but I think we're still gonna go for it. We now used up way too many mastery points, so we have to get rid of something. We could get rid of the armor, doesn't help us enough. We want to get to at least 100. So let's get rid of this, equip this shield right here for 20 mastery points. Now we're at least at 100, that's good. I'm sure there is a more efficient way where we can save 120 mastery points, but this will be good enough for this wave. And the thing is, you can spend hours figuring out the little... incomes that are hidden everywhere, and that you want to get a little bit more efficient and spend a little bit less mastery points. But at the end of the day, you don't want to sit here 6 hours figuring early game, because if you get through the mid game, at one point you can only deploy 8 Illuvials anyway. So as soon as you're there, it didn't really matter how good you were in the early game. So you need to be... Gonna be so close. That's a good thing. We realized the strength of the enemy team and overinvest a little bit. So we did everything right, and yeah, you don't want to screw up the early game and use all your mastery points, because you really need that income, but you also don't want to spend hours figuring out everything into the smallest detail. Right, those are 2 big damage dealers. They would just blast through our tanks right here, so we need a damage dealer as well. It's a good question what we're gonna bring in. I think we're gonna sell the Singe and probably bring in maybe a strong rogue, maybe the Riptorus, maybe the Furiox. Probably not enough damage. I think the Riptorus will be a good call. We both of our units will attack the enemy Scoriox, and once he's done, we just need to survive the Flishcast, which we should be able to do. We're also double toxic, so if one of our units dies, they explode and deal 30% max health damage as energy damage, which can be quite a lot. We're splitting the enemy damage between both our units, so they're both getting damage, which is good for us, and we're both focusing the same enemy, which is also good for us. Just focusing down one at a time. And easy peasy, we got it. This time we have 140 mastery points left, which is huge. That's 7 income right there. And let's try to build on that. So versus, we have 3 tanks here, you can see it on the right side, 3 bulwarks. They have a lot of defenses, and it's really good to play our fighters versus them. So I guess we're gonna get in another fighter, and then we can probably just shred through those tanks. Furiox is maybe a bit too much, so maybe a Riptor would be just enough. We're not getting another fighter sec though, because those two are from the same Illuvial line. This is the stage 1 Scorpion, and this is the stage 2 Sea Scorpion. So we don't get a third fighter buff, which would be kind of nice. Let's see what else we got. Let's sort by fighter. There's only the Furiox left. What else can we put in? Time is kind of running out, so we gotta be fast. I think we can put this guy out and put like a nice augment onto this Riptor, giving him physical resistance, and now he should be able to tank through a lot of the damage. I hope they're still splitting the damage. Oh, the Riptor is still in. I thought I sold it. Alrighty, I think we could have done it with 120, selling the Riptor, getting 40 mastery points back, but... well, we got it. We lose like 2 income, which should be alright. If we now end in a round with like, we have 138 mastery points left, and those 2 income really would have made a difference to make another income, then we know we should have really played it differently. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we could have sold Riptor. Usually it takes a few tries to get out the perfect, to really figure out the perfect early game strategy. So right here we have the Kukurov. If we focus it, it is gonna be useless. Same with the ramp fight. Biggest threat is the Vermilia. I think we're gonna focus it last because it's kind of tanky compared to them. And maybe we swap out the Riptor. Don't think we need to. We could downgrade it a little bit. So we could get in the Lynx and now downgrade the armor from our Ranger to this energy armor. And now we have 120 mastery points, giving us 6 income if we manage to beat the round. And I think that's how we're gonna do it. Kukurov is gonna be easily beaten before he can cast his Omega, making him pretty much useless. And now we're swapping our damage a little bit, which could be problematic. But our range is doing a good job stunning the enemy Vermilia. Here comes a big Omega from Rampfire. But we should still be able to beat this round, especially because our Riptorus is just doing so much damage. And he's also healing himself a lot. I don't even know which augment we slapped on him in the heat of the fight. So his Omega shields him for 200% of maximum energy. And he's casting a lot. He also gets immune. And when the combat starts, he's invulnerable, so that's really good. And he casts a lot, so he gets a lot of shield from this augment. Pretty perfect. What we got? We got no tank in the enemy team. We got a Rake, we got a Furiox. Probably gonna focus the Furiox first. Easy kill over here. Maybe swap out the Lynx, put something else in. Always upgrade your armor after you downgraded it. Just so you don't forget. And there is 3 assassins coming in, so Singe would be really nice. But it seems like an overkill. It seemed like we could beat this wave differently too, so we're gonna sell the Riptorus right here, deploy him again, just to get rid of the 40 mastery points augment right here. Then we're gonna bond again, maybe this time with the Singe. Now let's stay with Behemoth. And we should be good to go. We there's 13 mastery points kind of unused. So we could have definitely found something better than this. And it looks like we're gonna lose this one. Riptor is getting too much damage. He's our main carry and he's dying before our main tank, our Ranger. Now he's not getting any more damage, but the Omega from this Rampfire will seal the deal. Let's see if we can win the one-on-one. I don't think so. Maybe if we get another cast out, it should be alright. Oh, it's looking good. Hell yeah. That's nice. I'm stoked. That's really cool. Alrighty. So, what is our next move? We got a lot of empaths right here. There's a lot of supports in the enemy team. So we leaned a lot of single target damage to kill off targets before they get healed. And we're gonna definitely focus the Blaze Knight, who is the biggest damage dealer in the enemy team too. If the Blaze Knight dies, we kinda win, basically. It could be a good moment to bring in our Furiox, giving us a third fighter, boosting our damage a lot. I'm probably selling off this guy for a smaller tank. Axodon could be pretty good. What else we got? Let's sort it by tanks. Yeah, Axodon is definitely gonna bring more value than the Archelion. As long as he doesn't get focused too hard, so we're just gonna let Adoredo attack him. That should be good, splitting our damage up a little bit. Small lag spikes are coming in, but it's not a big deal. And I think this should be good. Maybe move them really all closer together and let Riptorus tank a little bit less here. Kind of like that. Making sure everybody's attacking the Blaze Knight and our tanks are getting the most damage. I hope Axodon is not getting too much damage. But we should be alright as long as he casts his shield. Yeah, looking really good. Usually those support... Early on, those support enemy teams are pretty easy to beat. Because they often don't have tanks and then they got not really anybody to heal because they die so fast themselves. They would need like a nice frontline tank to make the supports more valuable. That's why we also don't play a lot of supports in the early game ourselves. So there's no tank in the enemy team, so we're just gonna focus on the right side. Easy kill on Riptorus and Scoriox. Our Axodon could be tanking the Ramfire down here. He should be a good match, because water beats fire, and I don't think Ramfire has enough single target damage. Kill off our guy fast enough. We have 10 mastery points left, so we're gonna upgrade our shield right here. Oh, that's 16 more. That's crazy, giving us Wildfire. No, we stay with the other one then. What else could we do? We could sell the armor and equipping one of those 20 cost augments right here. Not really worth it. Good, but also not really worth it. Reduce the attack speed is pretty good. But I want to stick with the armor right here. And put our ranger to the outside, tanking the Scoriox. Like, that should be perfect. Let's see how it goes. Basically, my goal was wave 10 to make it. I didn't think we would make it without dying, and pretty perfect, I must say, so far this run. Really found the balance between investing too much and too little. We're right in the middle there. Almost every round is really close. Nice, wave number 10. It really comes, if you play a lot, you really find out what's the big threat in the enemy team. So right here, it's pretty obvious. We got an Umbre with 2 big augments. There's only 3 units in the enemy team. So we're first gonna finish off this Riptorus, I think, and ignore Blaze Knight. What are those 2 augments? They gain attack speed, and this Omega can crit. A little bit scary, but not too bad. I think we let Axodon right here tank the Riptorus. And overall, if we just think it through how this is gonna go. So, Umbre is gonna jump here, and then he's gonna run up there. When he reaches our units, this Riptorus is dead already. Everybody swaps on the Umbre. Maybe our units are low and the big Blaze Knight Omega is hitting us. But other than that, like, we gotta save our Furiox right there, put him up a lot. But I think we'll just kill them faster than they will kill us. We could have even downgraded our armor a little bit to reach the threshold of 180 mastery points, giving us 9 income. We should be good. Axodon really needs to cast his Omega. Doesn't get his shield through. Big stun onto our Furiox. We killing Umbre and we should be good. Hey, perfect, man. I haven't had a arena run this good in a while. So I'm really stoked. We're recording it first try. And how long are we in? 13 minutes? Alright. Let's play it really risky now. Let's try to save as many mastery points, kind of forcing to die and ending the video. I want to save you some time. It's all about the early game in this video. And what we got here, can't focus him. If he drops below 60% health, he's unfocusable. So we're gonna refocus and it's kind of lost damage. I think we're gonna try to get around to the Scoriox right here with a Furiox like that. I don't really like having 3 melee units attacking the Seer, so I think we're gonna have to sell something or at least spread them out like this. Problem now, the Umbre is gonna attack our Furiox, so we gotta put this guy here. And overall, we just need more units. I think more tanks should be fine. So if you just get in a cinch right here, kind of like that. A hard call. Our Furiox will have a hard time killing the Scoriox fast enough. But we want to play it greedy. Sinji's gonna just twist us to death. That's a bad idea what we're doing here. Let's spread them up like this. And hope that's enough to do it. Not having a good feeling. I would have definitely overinvested a little bit. So let's see. Our Axodon wins the one-on-one pretty good. We're good. He gets a shield through. Our Furiox is killing the enemy Scoriox and we got it. I thought way too much of this. Alright, it's still close though. If Umbri gets a cast off, all our 3 units could have died. That's kinda it. So basically we have our main damage dealer right here. Now I'm gonna equip big augments onto him to boost his damage. We can also upgrade onto another damage dealer, but I think Dual F doesn't perform as well as Furiox. So I would slap some augments on him now. Then I would just reinforce our tank line a little bit more with a Titanor and a C-Forus. So that's what we're gonna do right now. That's definitely a good call. Ripterus and this whole fighter thing that we have been doing for the early game falls off in the late game quite heavily. So now we're gonna swap to a late game composition with C-Forus and Titanor. Definitely can sell this guy. Wanna bound with Titanor, I guess, giving us double Colossus. Pretty strong. Don't think... Maybe we wanna focus Titanor with all our units, because that's gonna usually be enough to kill him before he gets off his Omega. He gets it off, we put our C-Forus here, so our Furiox is safe. And I think that should be good. It looks like a pretty strong enemy team. If we can get rid of the Alfie somehow, that would be best, I guess, because it's their only real damage. But also getting rid of Titanor early is gonna be huge. Sierra's gonna... we'll have some time to ramp up though, so it's kinda scary. I kinda would have liked to play it a bit differently. Maybe with an Adorius instead of the Singe, but we're just gonna go for it. Should be alright. Should be alright. We're just gonna be as tanky as them, but we have more damage, basically. If you look at the enemies and on our team. As I said, Titanor is falling before he can even cast his Omega, making him pretty useless. Like, his Omega is a big deal. Also Singe falling quite good. We still have a full hyperactive Ranger tank, and we're good. Nice transition into Granite and Colossus. Probably could have done it earlier, but too early it's not too good either. Those 100 cost units usually scale up very well and are not so good in the early game. Alright, we got 2 big assassins right here. We're gonna put our tank right there, give him a nice augment. This one is perfect, making him invulnerable in the first few seconds versus the assassins. Giving him a spin. We might need another tank there just to help him out, but let's check out our damage dealer comes here. Maybe being able to attack their damage dealer, and after that he can attack our assassins. Our Titanor will just go here. I guess our Ranger can go down there, helping out a little bit. And that's kinda it. That's how I would play it. I think it should be alright. And we're gonna cut it right here. Because it starts a bit lagging, you know, it's overheating. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like it. If you do, you know what to do. And I see you tomorrow. Peace out. I'll let it finish.